Welcome to Anderson Penn's Sunday Brunch, menu 23 for Easter Sunday, March 31st, 2024. Brian, happy Easter.
Good morning. How are you?
I am great. What are you going to eat today?
Ham. Usually
Ham, yeah. I like ham.
Yeah.
Some people do other things. Some people do lamb. And I like lamb. I've never had lamb for Easter.
Pretty much always ham.
A ham, yeah. And there might be some people who do a goose. But I don't know that I've ever had a goose.
No.
Ever, for any reason. Even a Christmas goose.
Ham. Probably just ham.
Ham,
scalloped potatoes, maybe.
Potatoes. Scalloped. Or mashed.
Yeah,
as long as there's a potato.
Yes.
A potato.
Potato works
ham,
for Easter.
And do you like any green vegetables?
I like all green. Pretty much every green vegetable.
All green. So, do you have a favorite?
I like green beans a lot.
Green beans are good.
For some reason, yeah.
I think I want asparagus today. Okay. That's what I'm going to hope for my Easter Sunday.
We'll put it on the menu. Are you coming over?
We shall see.
We'll
report back on next Sunday brunch. It is spring, which is why we're having Easter, because Easter cannot come before spring. And spring officially began on the 19th, which was a Tuesday, and by Friday we had snow.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's Wisconsin.
Well, here we are.
Here we are. Tomorrow, April 1st, of course, April Fool's Day. You do remember that?
Get out.
April 15th is Tax Day. Do you remember that one too?
Yeah, I do remember that one.
And April 22nd is Earth Day. Of course, every day is Earth Day, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And a little bit further into the future is the Chicago Pen Show.
Yes.
May 2nd to 5th.
It's going to be here. I mean, we're only 4 weeks away.
I know, we're going to blink.
Yeah.
We're going to blink and it'll be here.
Yeah.
And I'll be there. I'm going to blink and I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
You're going to be there.
I will be there.
You're going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, leave out Sunday.
No, I'm going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll leave probably Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Yeah, I don't have a hotel for Saturday night, so.
Oh, okay.
I anticipate most of my work will be done.
That's a 3-hour drive, right?
Yeah, it's easy.
Because it's not actually in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's
in Hoffman Estates.
It's closer to us.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah,
it's closer, especially when you consider traffic.
Yes.
Downtown
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah. It's a decent.
It's not bad.
Drive. Yeah, it's not bad.
For a pen show.
You're staying till Sunday?
Yeah, I'll leave.
Okay. Well, we should get together.
I'm sure I'll see you. I'll be at the show. Will you be at the show? Yeah, you're hard to miss. You going to sell any pens or?
I will have. I have actually started. I have a 96 pen case that I have loaded up with some very, very special pens. Many Parker, of course. Very early stuff. And there might be a few other pieces I might throw in there. Probably to have a better idea, we'll do it on APTV. But if you're looking for early Parker stuff, I'll have it.
Okay. So maybe I can go through what you're taking and just buy from you and not even go to the pen shop.
That's fine. We can work something out.
And your idea for what you are going to take to the pen show is 1.5 tables or a table on the Thursday? Or
I will have, I probably, like I say, I haven't filled the binders yet, but I probably have I usually take 2 96 pen cases.
Okay. So do people try to find you and say, or you walk around saying, want to buy some pens?
I haven't sold that many in recent years. I've been mostly buying, but now I've got a lot of these pens and I've got some scheduled meetups with some other collectors.
Okay. But you don't have a table.
I don't have a table. No. Only on Thursday I may be sitting down. So
because Thursday the vendors aren't assigned tables.
They're not assigned tables, right.
If you have a weekend trading pass, you can take a table.
And highly recommended, actually, if you can get off and you're wondering which days to go. Now, Thursday is never my if you can only go one day, don't ever go on a Thursday. Go on Saturday. But if you can go a couple days, Thursday's kind of worth it. Not only now, Thursday you got to pay for the extra fee for the weekend pass, but you get the pizza dinner, so at least you get a meal out of the deal. And all the weekend vendors, will be there by Thursday night. They may not be set up, but there'll be people set up, and there'll be early trading on Thursday, and it's fabulous for especially for vintage stuff. But,
I'm going to take maybe the opposite
you're gonna go
side of that.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm sure Thursday is fantastic for you because you're Brian Anderson, and you deal with pens, and all the pen people talk to you, and you talk to them, and they'll just bring you cases and say, please take these.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah. Whereas just a regular person, you have to kind of break into that Not everybody just puts their pens out. It's kind of private. Private deals are going on Thursdays.
You have to know. Yeah. I've got several deals already lined up.
So if you can only go one day, make it a Saturday.
Make it Saturday, yeah.
But if you want to see what happens on a Thursday, that is interesting.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah, and just know at least you get a meet. Like Lisa always said, well, if we got to go Thursday, at least we get.
At least you get.
It's pizza. It's good pizza.
And it's still a pen show. You see lots of people.
Yeah. You can sit down and have a meal with all your friends.
The real reason of a pen show is it's a social event.
Yes.
And it starts on Thursday.
Yes, it does. Actually, in many cases, it starts on Wednesday or before.
That's true.
Overseas folks are coming in early.
Yeah, it'll be a good show.
Yeah.
It'll be a good show.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Do you have a watch to show us?
I do have a watch today.
Oh, right there on your wrist. Let me guess. It's a Seiko.
This is a Seiko. Okay. Yes, this is a Presage. I believe the reference on this is the SRPB 46J.
Does that mean something to me?
Yes. It means it's the Presage automatic with date in the copper kind of burst cocktail color.
It is very pretty.
Funny story about this watch. I ordered this watch the first weekend when we had opened up the Chicago store and we were setting up inventory, and I had it sent to the hotel. And when I went to go check for it in the mail, apparently, long story short, they because it said Brian Anderson, it did not say Anderson Pens. They called the in-house client, guest by the name of Brian Anderson in the hotel to let him know that he had a package waiting for him, to which he thankfully said he wasn't expecting one.
That's good.
And well, we called, she said.
I'm not a guest of the hotel. So, well, that can happen.
Yeah.
There are lots of Brians, and
I was a little surprised, but
We're supposed to remind people to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Why don't you try that?
Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
I think I like the video already. Yeah. I'm just recording it. And I am a subscriber.
Good.
I get the perks and the badges and the pins.
The badges.
A joke. Do you have a joke?
Yes, I got a joke. I do have a joke.
Let's hear your joke.
In my spare time, I got a kind of a job, extra job outside of pens.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my first week working at the bicycle factory.
The bicycle factory.
Yeah. It was a local bicycle factory. My first week, because of course, we bike occasionally, and I just thought, well, it'd be a perfect fit. I'll go work for the bicycle factory. It's going so well. They made me a spokesperson.
A spokesperson. I like that. Very good delivery. Nice story. I just have a standard joke. Wherein I ask you a question. What, Mr. Anderson, do you call a person who's not sure if the Easter Bunny exists? That would be an agnostic. Agnostic.
Agnostic. Okay.
But I like your spokes. They made you a spokesperson.
They made me a spokesperson.
I have to find Nikki on that one. You have a pencil.
I do have a pencil.
You have a pencil. Today's show is about pencils, in case we haven't made that clear.
Because yesterday
was National Pencil Day, the 30th, and 2 days ago, on the 29th, which was Good Friday, we sent a mailer out that offered a whole bunch of pencils.
A lot of pencils. I don't actually know.
One of which I have.
I don't know what the number is, actually, because I added a bunch at the last minute, so it was in excess.
Well, that number always changes. Anyway.
It always changes.
I buy something at the last minute. So you have, I'm going to guess this is a Retro 51.
This is a Retro 51.
And it's something for crossword puzzles.
This is the Retro 51 crossword. This is kind of for me, this is a fun pencil. I actually bought this pencil and I gifted it to my grandfather. And then when he passed away and we were cleaning out the house, it sat on the stand right next to where he used to sit on the couch to do his crossword puzzles, and there was a crossword puzzle underneath it.
How do you like that?
So I got it. I gave it to him, and I got it back. So, but it's real fun. It's got fun, different things in there. Karate,
yes, I'm a big fan of crossword puzzles.
Yeah.
But I don't own this one.
Yeah.
By the time this came out, I had stopped doing them in pencil and was doing them in pen, and now I do them on an iPad. Things have really changed. Because you used to do them from the newspaper.
Yes.
In pencil.
Yeah, absolutely. Or pen if you're really brave. But yeah, that's one of my pencils. I don't really collect pencils, but
yes, we'll see.
We'll get into that.
We'll see evidence of the fact that you do not collect pencils. I don't collect pencils either, and yet I brought 5% of my collection.
5%.
5%. I do get wood pencils if I like them.
Okay.
I was recently in Paris.
Okay.
And just outside of Paris is the Louis Vuitton Foundation, which is a museum. And I just had to have this pencil. I am a fan
Big fan of the L2K.
Yes. And that's a 5 and a 7. I have the sketch pencil.
That's nice. I like that one. The Y Studio sketch pencil.
This is a very heavy, nice heft. It's not heavy. I love this pencil.
With a long lead.
Yeah.
And this one also has the sharpener inside.
Yep. So you can make a nice point.
You got a little brassing going on there?
Yep. I like that. And my newest acquisition, which came from our mailer on Friday.
Came from the pre-sales.
Yes. I'm going to say that this is a Parker Vacuumatic.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Even though there's no Vacuumatic filling system.
Correct, yeah.
It was just the model Vacuumatic. I always assumed that Parker Vacuumatics were named Vacuumatics because of the Vacuumatic filling system. But apparently that's not true.
Well, you gotta call the pencil something. The way to identify it, it's a back pencil.
It's a back pencil.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
This one has a date code.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's the first quarter of 1935.
That looks like a good guess. It's got the early clip, 3-band, probably could be standard size, different size. They have so many sizes. I can't.
The jewel matches the material.
Yes, yeah.
Which I like.
I
don't know when they
attractive.
changed that.
Don't know.
The older ones they match, and then
yes,
not quite as old.
The double jewels sometimes have matching colored jewels.
How do you get a double jewel on a pencil?
Well, you don't.
Okay.
Don't.
I thought maybe you knew something I didn't know. So I'm just going to collect my pencils now and put them in my
and that's the
case.
difference. You collect them.
I didn't know I did until we said, let's do a thing on pencils.
Yes.
And I said, well, I might have a couple I can share. And I found 30. And I said, okay, this is a problem.
Well, yeah. And so I was a little surprised too, because I looked, and I know I have a lot of Esterbrook stuff, but I just don't collect. It's not.
You don't purposely.
I don't purposely collect them. If I buy a collection or a lot of pens and there's 4 Esterbrook pencils in there that I don't have, I keep them.
So we have trays here.
We have trays.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trays.
6 trays,
some odd.
6.5.
About how many pencils do we have on the table? Approximately.
I didn't count, but I thought it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 150.
And these all belong to you, do they?
Yes.
But you don't collect pencils.
I don't collect pencils. And what the scary thing is I'm organizing these, and I'm doing the research to get, to make this make sense. I discovered how many I don't have.
Oh, see, not even enough.
I don't even have them all.
Yeah. See, the difference between us, though, I don't think I collect, and when I go to look, I find 30. You don't think you collect. You go to look, you find 160, and realize there's 40 you're missing.
Well, and
from your non-collection.
Now, to be fair, I also counted, I had probably another 40 pencils on top of the Esterbrook stuff.
That aren't Esterbrook.
And I realized the other day how silly that was, so I took some of those, and they made it into the pencil mailer.
Okay.
So
now you can legitimately say you don't collect pencils.
I condensed a little bit.
Maybe you collect Esterbrook pencils.
Well, I kind of have to.
Okay, so you do collect Esterbrook pencils.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no.
This is probably the largest single collection of Esterbrook pencils in the world.
It's not complete, but it's good. It's got a lot of pieces in it.
So last Sunday brunch, you taught me all about the Lucky Curve, which I appreciated. Now teach me all about Esterbrook pencils.
So this one is different, but let's start from the beginning.
That's how we're going to start. This
one is different.
Okay.
Because we'll get to that in a minute. So Esterbrook, their primary mode of pencil is what they call the clutch pencil. So these are mostly cap actuated, and they hold the lead in a clutch, and then when you squeeze it, the clutch comes out and they drop. So that's their primary model for many years. They actually patented, and got my notes here. They actually filed patents in 1937 for that design, and then granted. Actually, they filed them in Paris and in the U.S. And granted in 1940. But some of these models are a little bit earlier. Let's get this one out of the way. This is fairly rare. This is an Esterbrook Relief pencil. This is made by Conway Stewart. These match the Relief pens. So it doesn't say Esterbrook on it, but the pens were all called Relief.
Okay.
Very, very. It's the only one I've only ever seen maybe 2.
And this is one of them.
And this is one of them. Yeah. Yeah. So.
But that was a twist.
This one is a twist. Yeah, because this was made by Conway Stewart.
Okay.
This was not made by Esterbrook.
By 1937, mechanical pencils were a thing.
Yeah.
But they were twist activated.
Yeah, most of them are twist.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all twist. And Esterbrook came out with the clutch. Now, some of these I haven't polished, but this is sterling silver.
That is an Esterbrook.
This is an Esterbrook, yeah. Sterling silver and this really cool.
It is very interesting.
Cool pattern. Clip, very reminiscent of, say, maybe Todd.
Yeah, it looks it. Is any of this damage, or is it just
no? This is
polishing?
just needs polishing. Yeah, a little maybe microgloss will help clean that up.
That is in my mind, a gorgeous pencil.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This one may be my all-time favorite. Also sterling, no dings. The actual imprint is actually on the top. Pull this out. You can see the imprint is right there.
And it says
R. Esterbrook and Company. And this one has the original paper tag.
Paper tag.
So this is the model P for pencil, S for sterling.
Oh, so it's a PS.
It's a PS, yeah.
Pencil, sterling.
Pencil,
Am
sterling.
I going to need to take notes on
I'll try. Lisa advised me not to get too deep into the nomenclature. It's a little difficult for me not to, but...
they named all their pencils with letters?
Everything had letters, okay. Yeah. Now, I don't know what this one is called because I have yet to find this one in a catalog.
Oh, prototype.
Not a prototype, clearly not. But the sterling was PS, and then they also made a gold fill version, which they called gold, but I've never seen a solid
PG,
gold version.
Perhaps?
It was...
PGS?
I don't know because it was such an expensive item in the catalog at the time, $3 compared to $1 or whatever. They just mentioned it was available.
Okay.
So contact your dealer. So no codes. The only reason we know that's PS is.
Then we're going to say it was a PG.
That's probably, it was not PG.
Okay.
Because PG is actually that pen.
PA then.
For
AU.
It could be anything. Yeah. As you'll come to see, we'll talk about color codes for just a brief minute. Some of them don't make any sense. So those are kind of the exception rather than the rule. And then now we get into my favorite Esterbrook pencil of all time. I
thought this was your favorite.
No, these two are hard rubber.
Okay.
This one I actually found last year. It's very, very unusual. Different clips.
Is this one discolored?
Yeah, this is oxidized a little bit. Most of the pencils you see will be this nice kind of olive green. Olive green. Very rare actually to find a hard rubber Esterbrook pencil or a pen that's black. I don't know if there was a different compound they used, but they all have a nice even. Most of them have a nice even.
Yeah, it
olive.
almost looks like it's done on purpose.
It's very nice, and so this is the one exception to the rule that I don't collect duplicates in my collection. Hard rubber pencils from Esterbrook, forget it. They only made 3 or 4 different variations, but if I find one, I usually keep it.
Do they have a code?
So these are PB for black.
Pencil black.
Pencil black. Now I don't believe they differentiated between hard rubber and plastic, so we're just going to assume that this is a PB because that's got that early clip. This has a little bit different cap band placement. You see, there's more of a gap there. Earlier pens have this real thin cap lip.
Yes.
And then eventually they move the cap band higher up.
Do the PBs have a clutch?
Yeah, these are all clutch.
These are all clutch.
All clutch.
So
it's clutch for a long time.
Post 1937.
Yeah. So you push it, and then this feeds the lead out a little bit at a time.
Right.
Just broke that lead. And then underneath, where would be, that's part of the cap. Look at this one here. Underneath, you'd have your eraser, and you could pull this out, and then your lead would be in there. Yeah.
Things haven't changed much.
No. So that's the PB, and then you get into the what they call the $1.50 colors.
They're beautiful.
They're very nice. They're celluloid. We've got Morocco red. You've got foliage green, which is the PG. This is Morocco red is PM.
PM. PG for
foliage green is PG. This one is uncatalogued.
Oh.
This gray with red veinage. And this, occasionally you find these pens with gold trim, but it was never cataloged in any way, shape, or form.
So these are the same, but the trim is different.
Yes, they're the same, but the trim is different. Yeah. And then this is also another PG in foliage green. Now they also made a pearl gray, which essentially was like this material here, but without the red. And that was PK.
PK.
Go figure.
They needed something.
But they had, at least 3 different styles of clips. We've got the cutouts at the top here, and then where this just kind of goes straight up.
I am skipping ahead to notice that this material seems to be like this material.
Yes, and you're wondering why I have another one. The clip is different.
The clip.
Yeah,
okay.
So this has the early actually, these clips came out in 34, but obviously the pencil wasn't, so a few years later. And then this came out around 1940, 41.
Okay.
This clip. And here's the famous Rosborough. My white
famous
pencil.
For what reason?
Famous because Lisa has the matching fountain pen.
Aha.
But what makes this is actually very interesting for another reason is that early what they called pens for the medical profession always had these little indicators on the top. So see how that's black?
Yes.
The pens had black or red indicators on the top to indicate the color of ink, and this would indicate the color of lead. I believe there is a red version, but this one had nothing. There's no indicator on it whatsoever. So a very early pencil. Plus it has this early clip. So a very interesting piece in and of itself. This is what really sort of became standard, but even this has an early clip. So, and this one is, let's see, what do we have this one at? This is the I don't know which one this is. PW, PW for whites. They actually had a thin lead version, which was the FW, which is interesting because later on they used F for ballpoints. So I don't know.
You said that this marker at the top could come in red.
Yes.
Could you get red lead?
Yeah, and then that would indicate you had red lead in it. Yep. So there's another one of those grays. And then we start getting into some of your standard pens, but then they come in different sizes. So you've got a short version.
Too.
Yeah. We'll come into that in just a little bit. The next couple here are very early plastic pencils that Esterbrook made. I believe these would probably be called the PT and then the color code. So this would be PTQ, PTL, and PTE, I believe.
We need a spreadsheet.
Yeah, PTR. I'm sorry.
PTR for red. PTB.
Don't ask me what the T stands for, but I have a fountain pen with the original sticker that labels it in blue as a BTL, and B would be the size of the pen, and L would have been the color blue. So we can only imagine T as the model.
Okay.
So this would be PTs.
We will imagine that.
Yeah. And here we continue on with some of our more early ones and another shorty. And these actually had their own model number.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that until last night as I'm going through and pulling up all of the model numbers and everything. And these were labeled PH plus the color code. So that's a PHL as a short pencil.
PHL. P is pencil.
H is short.
H is
it's
short.
Petite.
And L
is blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
And this is beginning to look like Esterbrook pens that I am with which I am familiar.
Yep.
That I've seen.
Very much so. Very much
This one's my favorite.
Yeah, isn't it though? It's nice.
This one's probably the prettiest. Oddly. Yeah. It's hard to determine, but I don't much care for greens, and that one is really speaking to me.
So that's the first batch.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, and so we're still in the 1940s here. Your standard colors, copper, green, red, this regular red, not Morocco, and then your gray. Now look here, I've got 3 different sizes of pencils.
And these are all pencils.
I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why there's 3. I can deal with 2 because that's what Esterbrook said they made, but 3 different sizes. And we start getting into this later clip too, where the rib is going up the top.
Okay.
These 3 are exceptional.
Did you give me a model number?
These are still P.
Okay.
And then this is PN for copper, PE for green, PR for Dubonnet red, and this is PQ for gray. So Q is the color code for gray.
Q,
yeah.
And 3 different sizes.
Yeah.
And then we change.
And then we have these 3. So now these 3 are not cataloged, but very, very well known.
They made those for Easter, obviously.
Obviously. We sometimes refer to these as cracked ice models. So we've got the green, or sometimes it's called the blue, but it's kind of green, yellow. And then this is indeed a different color. This is white.
That's white.
That's white. So the one thing that's cool about pencils is when you have material that in a fountain pen discolors, it never happens in a pencil. So the pencil is really representative of true color.
And do you know why material. The pencil doesn't discolor?
Because the pencil does not have an ink sac in it. That's why.
It's a nice color.
I'm
surprised you called it white, but it's...
Well, yeah, it's you can't call it yellow because you got that, which is
yellow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I mean, like I said, we call this green, but it's kind of...
turquoise.
Yeah, turquoise. So those are very rare. No idea what they would have called these. They could have just as well been P with the color code.
But you don't collect pencils.
I don't collect pencils.
We're on trade 2.
We're on trade 2. Now we're into 1941 territory with these clips. We've got the standard. We got 2 different sizes here. This is probably there's no color code. There's no code for this pencil. This doesn't really exist.
Doesn't exist
apparently.
It's a figment of our imaginations.
But what I also don't collect is sometimes Esterbrook pencils were well known for they were easy to give and engrave. So here we have the Tennessee Coal, Iron, and Railroad Company of U.S. Steel, I think is what it says on there. And then that was engraved. Now, just remember that because we're going to come back to that.
Okay.
Blue, copper. Here we start getting into 1942 era with bandless modeled pencils. So they removed the band, they cheapened it up, they engraved a couple of bands on the barrel, and poof, that was it. Often found with brassing.
Okay.
Metal content seems to be a little bit different than previous, so it was cheaper to make during the war. Very hard to find.
Very hard, and this is a whole new clip.
This here is an anomaly.
Oh.
It probably shouldn't exist, but this is we'll see this in a minute. This is the new J series cap, but with this earlier bandless design here, and it has the Esterbrook metal jewel on the top with the crosshatch lines.
Interesting.
So previously, all the Model Ps have Esterbrook on the top. Yeah. And here it's got a crosshatch line. So this is really a rare piece. I don't think I have a matching pen for that. Unusual, not cataloged, was clearly some kind of transition piece.
It's cool.
It's pretty neat.
More pencils.
These are pretty cool. What do I have? A full set here. I've got almost a full set here of what they call Pushmaster pencils. These were companions to the VisuMaster, and with these changed the model to a J. So this is JE for green, P, PJE, PJQ, PJR, etc., etc. But these use stacked celluloid in thin and thick strips to create the pattern.
They're really cool.
So this was the first J series pen.
So
pencil, yes, pencil. And they came in black too. This one's actually a little bit later, but there's a black version without the stripes. But we still have no engraving on the clip. And you'll see eventually we move to having an engraved clip with the name. So, and these are all still PJ pencils, what we call. This here, we're looking at 1947. And this is
a demonstrator.
This is a demonstrator. It's a factory demonstrator for the model TJ, which is thin lead. And that from that point on was identified by this knurling on the end of the nose cone.
So you knew.
So if your pencil has that, you know it's the thin lead version, which at the time is 0.036 versus the standard size, which is 0.046. So 0.7 versus 0.9. But this is a factory demonstrator, very rare piece to show the mechanism and how it works.
So this wasn't actually something you could buy. It was to see how it works.
Nope, it was to see how it works, you know, for the factory, or they may have taken it out on sales calls and, hey, look at our new pencil. This is how it works. And you can see it's it's shrunk a little bit.
Yeah, don't ruin it.
Yeah, we're harder to find a demonstrator pencil than it is a pen, actually.
I don't believe I've ever seen one.
Yeah. So this comes in 1947, 48, and then we start now. We have all the pencils will have Esterbrook written on the clip. And to start out, we have this round black jewel now, which is the same size as all the other small jewels. And some of these have ribbing on the barrel, and some don't, which I can't make any sense of. But we do know that as long as the ribbing is on the nose cone,
thin lead. That's
a point thin lead. And when you open them up, they will say use 0.036 lead.
Cool. From now on, these look like the materials of the Esterbrook that I first was introduced to.
So 1947 to the late 40s, and I believe every single one of these gray pens is different. This one's got maybe an engraving on, maybe that's why I have it. We've got knurling here, we've got short knurling, we've got long knurlings, this is a TJ for thin. We have different length barrels. Sometimes we have different size nose cones. So there's all sorts of different variances in these.
I never see these in the wild, and now I know why. You have them all.
And then eventually Esterbrook started going to this dimpled design. So when it's in your pocket, the fountain pen would have the standard dome.
And the dimple would be your pencil.
And the dimple would be the pencil. And then the ballpoint had even a different design. It was a domed, pointy design.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen that dimple in there. That's because I've never seen a pencil.
So furthering on, a couple different greens, reds, and then, like I said before...
so now you started a collection of
the Tennessee Coal and Iron Division of United States Steel. So now I've got here's a different engraving for the same Tennessee Coal and Iron, different one. This is different engraving altogether. This one is kind of interesting because this is actually inlaid metal.
Oh, it is.
It was a nice little effect. More PJs here, different sizes, different knurlings, and we start getting into. Is this what I think it is? This is the TJ. So this is the
tiny TJ.
The TJ would have been thin lead. This means this is the extra T means this is a thin pencil with thin lead.
Okay.
Double thin. It's double thin, which became kind of the standard.
This one looks like it has a sticker.
This one's got a sticker.
I think it says PJ.
It does say PJ on it because it's the larger version, and it doesn't have.
You haven't been making all this up.
Oh. What else do we got here? American Steel and Wire. Apparently, Steel and Wire is my sub-hobby.
You should have said .com. That would have been so funny.
But just another couple others. Red. We got another gray. Apparently, I have a lot of gray pencils that are all different.
But we continue moving into the future here.
Yes, these are all roughly about the same period in time.
Which was
1947 to they can be up into the 50s. Oh my goodness, I have a lot of gray pencils.
You do?
Holy cow. These are a couple TTJs with the thin. Then we start getting into pastels.
I see nothing but dimples here.
Yes, so that was the standard, would have been in the standard format for the dimple going forward. This one here actually is a nurse This one should be next to these three. This is a Nurse pencil. It's SJ size. This is a little bit, actually it's a PJ size. So this is the PJW is what this one is. PJWB.
Oh,
B for black.
B for black and the W for
white.
White,
yeah.
All of these, when were these made?
So these were made starting roughly around 1949.
Okay, so
Latter half of 1949 into the early 50s. So these are all essentially, now this is a little confusing if we're going to go by Esterbrook's nomenclature, because some of these, I believe the earlier versions with the black jewels are TTH, and the new ones with the color jewels are TH.
TH.
There's a little confusing.
Out of their way to make these colorful.
Yes. Well,
Even
of course,
today,
matching fountain pens, and then they would come in a little petite pack, a little vinyl carrying case. Sometimes they had little stones on them and things like that.
So here's your Easter pencil.
Yes. Yeah. So the earlier ones have the black jewels, and the later ones have the color matched jewels. So your Aloha Gold, which was quite a scarce color, Tempo Red, which is one of the best, and some of these turquoises.
They look fun.
Yeah. So these are all pastel, or what they call petite pens. And then we go back here. I don't know why these are separated, but these are all different PJW models. This one being a thin lead version.
PJTW.
TJWB, perhaps. I don't know. It gets confusing. So we got a couple more of those. And now we're moving into 1949. For sure here we've
49
got...
or 59?
This is 49.
49.
I'm sorry. Yes, 49. This is the model...
These were the 49 through the 50.
Yes, yeah,
okay.
yeah. This pen came out in 1949. Pencil came out in 1949. This is the TM, which accompanies the SM Deluxe. So metal cap. And this is the Midnight Blue version, which it looks black.
Looks black to me.
But in the light, it's actually, Esterbrook didn't make a black version of this pen. It was Midnight Blue. And so that's the TM.
Stickered and all.
Stickered and all. Thin lead, it says. And it's got the knurling on there.
Fascinating. Oh, I want all the color.
All right, now we're moving into time. We're almost done here. These are exceptionally scarce. I don't know what model numbers these are. These are very hard to find. Usually, if you find them at all, you find them in black. I do have a black one. I just didn't bring it here. But these have an aluminum cap. They have this very similar deluxe style engraving on the clip, similar to the TM. Mm-hmm. Very similar, except it rolls around the back. So this is military style. And I understand these were prevalent on military PXs. Oh. But there's a ivory white. I've never seen the fountain pen for it. Here's our standard copper.
Amazing.
And then, of course, they made black, and apparently they made other colors, but I've only ever found
about what
a few. Those are probably also right around 1949, 1950.
Okay.
Very early. A couple different pens here. These are what we now affectionately call icicles because of the striped pattern. Esterbrook at the time called these the classic. But these would probably also be called PJ models. These here are completely different altogether.
Yeah, they're made by Cross.
Yeah. I actually reached out to Cross once, many years ago, and asked them if there was any collaboration between Esterbrook in the 60s.
Did they get back to you?
And they did get back to me, and they said there was no collaboration whatsoever. They just happened to look. So these are coming in around 1963. Which they call the Lord Esterbrook.
Lord Esterbrook.
Lord Esterbrook, yeah. There's 12 karat gold filled, or what they call lustrous chrome. So these are what they call the model LG for the gold. And then the lustrous chrome is LS.
S for silver.
S for silver looking, I guess. But yeah, they look like a cross, don't they?
Do.
And these are twist now.
Okay.
So now we're into the 60s. We're starting to look, in the late 50s and 60s, we're looking at twist becoming an option. The next pencil here, this is one of my favorite models that Esterbrook made. It's called the Safari. It came out in 1957 in anticipation for their 100th anniversary in 1958. The initial the initial launch included plastic caps. The problem is the plastic is so thin that usually when you find them, the cap is broken. There's a crack. Something is going on.
Oh, and I touched it.
And so what they did is they eventually moved over and they replaced that faulty cap a year later into a metal cap.
Very nice. This angle on the reminded me of another pen.
There are actually two different styles of pencils here, so they made two different styles. I don't know if they identified this first one any different, but the standard, because now we're moving into this mechanism, this twist, propel, repel, was the model CP, and this one is actually, you notice the top is a little different.
Yes.
This is actually a standard push pencil. So if it has this extra little bit at the top and this big gap in the middle,
that's a push.
This green one,
these
the light
are twists.
blue.
That's a twist.
That's a twist. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And so one could say that I've never seen a metal cap version of the push. So one could say that perhaps when these came out in 1957, 58, that they started with the push pencils first because that's what they were making. Maybe
this twist mechanism is one of the smoothest.
It's nice, isn't it?
Even of my modern ones. This is amazing.
And so you notice these all now have the knurling on the cone. So these are all thin.
All thin.
It seemed to take over, and in fact, in the catalogs and the price list, they would actually state, they would kind of like PJ also available. You know, it was, but so you've got the deluxe, or we call them deluxe. Sometimes they didn't call them that. It was still called the Safari. So the CP, and then we get over here. We get into another deluxe. This is the TK, after the LK series of pens, and these are push pencils.
Clutch again.
With the clutch, yeah. Those come in a number of colors. The blue is nice, willow green.
What year are we?
So these here, we're getting into middle to late 50s, 52, 55, in that era.
But these were early 60s.
These here are 1963. I had them out of order apparently. But these pens followed the SMs and the military clips. A little slightly similar clip, but different design in the cap.
This one is exceptionally cool.
Yeah, that one is really neat, really neat.
But they're difficult to find at all, and if you do, they're going to be black.
There will be black, yeah. And I do have a black one. I have it as part of a set, but I didn't bring it in. We've got just a few more here. Now we're getting into the later stages of Esterbrook's life. We've got the PM2.
PM2.
So that one's pretty easy. P for pencil. M2 is the series. So now it's the first time they're calling it PM-2. So now they're using that. And these are all twist with thin lead.
Because they've moved to thin.
They've moved to thin, yeah. And these come in different variations because I don't collect them. Sometimes they have Esterbrook on the clip. Sometimes it's on the cap band. Sometimes it's not on the clip. Sometimes it's on both. And cool colors. I love the turquoise.
The turquoise is nice.
So those are nice. Those came in. Those. Let me get my notes here. Yeah, those are 1960. Those come in alongside the Safaris that we looked at. The next ones from here on out are pretty late. This one here, I don't know the model number, but this is the companion to the Phaeton that Esterbrook made, which was a cartridge. It was a really inexpensive hooded nib cartridge pen. It was supposed to compete with the Parker 51 in appearance. It in no way did. This one unfortunately has got some engraving on it. I don't know if you can read that out loud.
I can actually. It says from the White House staff, Christmas 1964.
Oh, that's nice. So that's Lyndon Johnson's administration. And Esterbrook was famous with presidents. They used Esterbrook Diplis pens as bill signers all the time. But yeah, that was kind of a neat one.
Very cool.
And then here we go. We're winding down. We're in This is in the late starting in 1963. Same with those Lord Esterbrook's. They actually originally didn't even give it a model number. They called it the dollar pencil.
Okay.
Which is interesting because we now call sometimes the early 2-hole clip pens from the 30s dollar pencils because they sold for $1. Well, this also sold for $1. They later gave it the P100 for P for pencil, 100 for $1 moniker. So it's a P100. Looks like I'm missing a color. I've only got 3. Inexpensive little twist guys. And they did away with the knurling on the cone.
Yes,
they're all thin now. We don't need to differentiate. There's no actual one. And this one is a very weird, very late piece. It's cracked badly on the cap, but this was a salesman sample called the Portrait Pencil Style PSC-8.
Portrait,
the Portrait Pencil.
For drawing portraits?
I have no idea. I have no idea. It just happens to be in my collection. I've never seen that advertised. And then I have one more pencil.
Esterbrook pencils.
A wood pencil, yeah.
I had no idea they made those.
Well, Esterbrook was sold to Faber-Castell at some point.
That explains it.
It went through Venus and then Faber-Castell, which are both pencil manufacturers. So this one, I believe, was probably, I don't know if this is made by Faber or Venus, but it happened to come up one day. So,
and well, how often do you see these?
You don't often see them.
No.
I mean, I guess I don't look in the wood pencil market. I suppose there's a big market for that. Maybe, I don't know, but
I suppose there is a large niche.
Yeah,
I do like wood pencils.
You like wood pencils?
That could be.
That's yours.
Why, thank you, Mr. Anderson.
I have 4 more, so.
4 more. Because if you started to collect wood pencils, what a nightmare that could turn into.
Yeah, that would.
Although maybe not as expensive as fountain pens.
No, and that's a nice thing. You know, when I'm saying here, I'm missing a couple of pieces. I may catalog what I'm missing. Pencils are cheap.
Comparatively,
they're cheap, fun. If you like pencils, you can get. They're often the thing that's in the cheap box at the pen show. It's the $5 bin or what have you.
The thing about, I do like wood pencils, but in contrast to my fountain pens, I want to use my fountain pens. The wood pencils I just want to keep, which is strange.
Yeah, if it's something special.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I don't collect
No,
pencils.
you certainly don't. I can attest to the fact that you do not collect. You may collect Esterbrook.
It's by.
I'm going to say this is the largest Esterbrook pencil collection, single collection.
It's good size.
You need to, if you want to fight me on that, you have to find the larger collection.
I just realized I'm missing an orchid in here, but
well, you're going to the Chicago Pen Show.
I have one at home. I forgot.
Oh, do you?
It's a beautiful color. Beautiful color.
Cut. We'll be right back. Thank you very much. Yeah. That was fascinating on the day after National Pencil Day.
Yeah, a lot of different codes and actually
I kept track of none of them.
Yeah.
I remember the T for thin.
It's not too convoluted. P for pencil, T for thin.
If I only have to remember those 2 things, I probably can.
You can probably make out most.
B for
most
black,
of them.
once in a while. W for white.
Q for gray.
That's where you lost me on that.
E for green.
Emerald, I thought emerald.
Yeah, okay. Maybe. I mean, it could be. We don't know. I don't know what Q. If anybody knows what Q for gray is, I would.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Don't know.
Do you have another joke?
I do.
I was told you brought another joke.
I'm prepared for this week. I am very prepared. How does the moon cut his hair?
How?
He eclipses it.
Eclipse it. We just had an eclipse.
Yeah, we did.
Very good. Very contemporaneous. Speaking of Easter, we don't celebrate Easter in California.
No.
You know what we celebrate?
No.
Wester. I'll see myself out. Happy Wester, everybody.
Happy Wester.
I think we're going to do this again, right?
I think
in
so.
In about a month's time?
Sure.
just before
come up with an idea. What's
before the Chicago Pet
just for the Chicago Pet Show? Okay,
we'll come up with an idea.
We'll come up with an idea.
In fact, I have it. The last Sunday in April is April 28th. So you want to come back and do the sketch?
Sure.
Then afterwards we'll have Easter dinner.
Let's do something else I don't collect.
Something else Brian doesn't collect. Thanks for watching. What else do we say?
I don't know.
Okay.
What do we say?
We say thanks for watching. Please like this video and consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. And we will see you next month for another Sunday Brunch. Bye.
Bye.